Before you sleep tonight, before you close your eyes, there is something you need to understand. You are not alone. Not in your room, not in your struggles, not even in your silence. Because beyond what your eyes can see, there's another world, a hidden realm. A realm where decisions are influenced, where destinies are contested, and where battles are fought every single day. What if, every time you whispered a prayer, it didn't just rise quietly into heaven, but entered a battlefield? What if your prayers had to travel through resistance, through opposition, through forces determined to stop them? And what if, right now, at this very moment, there are angels fighting? Because of you, this is not imagination. This is not fiction. This is a mystery revealed long ago, through the life of a man who refused to stop praying. A man who stood firm when kingdoms fell. A man whose prayers shook the unseen world. His name was Daniel. And his story will change the way you see prayer forever. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear will reveal why some answers delay, why some battles feel invisible, and why you must never give up praying. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it with someone who needs this truth, and comment, "I believe in the unseen battle," because after tonight, you will not pray the same way again.
We are watching you. You cannot hide.
Long before Daniel became known, before the visions, before the miracles, before the lion's den, he was just a boy. A young boy living in the land of Judah. A land chosen by God. A land filled with history, with promises, with covenant. But something had gone wrong. The people had turned away. They had forgotten God. They followed other gods, trusted in their own strength, and ignored the warnings of prophets. And so, judgment came. The kingdom of Babylon rose like a storm, led by a powerful king, a ruler feared across nations, his army unstoppable. They marched into Jerusalem. Walls were broken, gates destroyed, the temple desecrated. Sacred things were taken, homes burned, families separated, tears filled the streets. And among those captured was Daniel. Daniel was taken far from everything he knew. No goodbye, no preparation. Just chains, and a long journey into a foreign land. Babylon. A city unlike anything he had ever seen. Tall towers, golden statues, luxury everywhere, but also darkness. Spiritual darkness. A land filled with idols, with power, with pride. And here, Daniel's real test would begin. Daniel was chosen for special training, not because he asked for it, but because he stood out. He was intelligent, disciplined, different. He and other young men were placed in the king's program. They would be trained, educated, transformed. Even their names were changed to erase their identity, to make them forget who they were. But Daniel made a quiet decision, a decision that would define his entire life. "I will not forget my God."
I will not forget my God.
They were given the king's food, rich meals, wine, everything appealing. But Daniel knew something others ignored. This was not just food. It was influence. It was compromise. It was a slow way to disconnect him from his devotion. So he refused, not loudly, not rebelliously, but firmly. He requested a simple alternative: vegetables, water. It seemed small, but it was powerful, because discipline in small things creates strength in big moments. Days passed, others indulged, but Daniel stayed consistent, and something began to show. He looked healthier, stronger, sharper, not because of food, but because of favor. God was with him, and it became undeniable. Soon, Daniel and his friends stood above all others in wisdom, in understanding, in excellence. But this was only the beginning. One night, the king had a dream so powerful, so disturbing, that it shook him. He woke up troubled, restless, disturbed. But there was a problem. He couldn't remember it, yet he demanded answers. He called his wise men, magicians, astrologers, advisors, and gave an impossible command. Tell me the dream and its meaning. Fear spread across the room. No one could do it. It was beyond human ability. And the king grew angry, very angry. He ordered their execution, all of them, including Daniel. When Daniel heard the news, he didn't panic. He didn't run. He didn't complain. He prayed. That night, Daniel gathered his friends. There was no noise, no distraction, just urgency, just faith. They cried out to God, not with empty words, but with deep desperation, because their lives depended on it, and heaven responded. As Daniel slept, a vision came. Clear, precise, supernatural. The mystery was revealed, the dream, and its meaning. Daniel woke up, and instead of running to the king, he first gave thanks. Blessed be the name of God forever and ever. Because Daniel understood something powerful. Before seeking results, honor the source. Daniel was brought before the king. The room was silent, tense, everyone watching. Could this young captive really do what others failed to do? The king spoke. Can you tell me the dream? Daniel replied calmly. No man can do this, but there is a God in heaven who reveals mysteries. And then he spoke. Every detail. Exactly. The king was stunned, shocked, overwhelmed. He fell to his knees before Daniel and declared, Your God is the true God. Daniel was promoted, given power, given position. But he never changed, because his strength was never the palace. It was prayer, but the greatest revelation, the one that would expose the unseen war, had not yet come.
My heart is
because
filled
one
with
day,
gratitude for your
Daniel
endless
would pray
blessings
again.
and wisdom.
And this time, the answer would be delayed, not because God didn't respond, but because something was fighting against it.
Blood, we awaken the ancient God. We give you this life, O Dark One. Bring forth your power upon this city.
Daniel had seen God answer. He had witnessed miracles. He had stood before kings and lived through danger, but nothing could have prepared him for what he was about to discover, because there are moments in life when heaven answers,
Fear not,
but earth does not see it
for
immediately.
your faith has
Moments
been
when you
rewarded.
pray and nothing seems to
Hear our cry,
happen.
O Lord.
Moments of
Deliver us
silence,
according to
moments
your
of
mercy.
waiting,
We need
moments
your
where faith
intervention
is
now.
tested, and this was one of those moments. Time passed. Kings rose, kings fell, empires shifted. Daniel remained, now serving under a new ruler, a man named King Darius. Daniel was no longer a young boy. He was older now, wiser, respected, trusted, so trusted that the king planned to place him over the entire kingdom. And that created enemies. Other officials watched Daniel. They studied him. They searched for a flaw, a mistake, a weakness. But they found nothing. No corruption. No dishonesty. No failure. Because Daniel lived a disciplined life. So they said, "We will never find anything against this man, unless it concerns his God." And so, they created a trap. They went to the king with deception, with manipulation.
O king,
O king, establish a decree that for 30 days, no one should pray to any god or man except you. The king agreed, not realizing the true target was Daniel. The law was signed, sealed, unchangeable. When Daniel heard, he did not panic, he did not hide, He did not compromise. He went home, opened his windows, faced Jerusalem, and prayed, just like he always did. Morning, afternoon, night. No fear, no hesitation. Because Daniel understood something powerful. If I stop praying, I stop living. The men were waiting, watching.
I stop living.
They saw him, reported him, and the king was trapped by his own law. He didn't want to punish Daniel, but he had no choice. And so, Daniel was taken to the lion's den. Night fell. The den was dark, deep, silent, except for breathing, heavy breathing, hungry lions. Daniel was lowered down, no weapon, no defense, just faith. The stone was rolled over the entrance, sealed. The king walked away, troubled, unable to sleep. But Daniel, he was not afraid, because something unseen had already entered that den. As the lions approached, ready to attack, suddenly, a presence filled the space. Light, power, authority, an angel, sent from heaven. The lions stopped, silenced, calmed, their mouths shut. Daniel sat, in peace, while danger surrounded him, because when God sends help, nothing else can touch you. At dawn, the king rushed to the den, his voice trembling. Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God saved you? And from the darkness, a voice replied, O king, live forever. My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths. Relief, joy, shock. Daniel was lifted out, not a single wound, not even a scratch. Because faith had overcome fear, those who plotted against Daniel were thrown into the same den. And this time, no angel came. The lions devoured them instantly, because what God protects cannot be destroyed.
O great devourer.
After this, Daniel's life changed again, not in position, but in depth. He had seen miracles, but now, he wanted understanding. He wanted to know more about God's plans, about the future, about what was happening beyond the physical world. So he began to seek, more intensely than ever before. Daniel entered a period of deep fasting. No rich food, no pleasure, no distractions. Just focus, just prayer, just seeking God. Day 1, he prayed. Nothing happened. Day 3, still nothing. Day 7, silence. Day 10, no vision, no voice. Day 14, no answer. At this point, many would stop. Many would say, maybe God didn't hear me. Maybe it's not meant to be. But Daniel continued, because true faith does not quit in silence. Day 18, still nothing. Day 20, nothing. Day 21. Suddenly, something shifted. The atmosphere changed. The air felt different. And then, Daniel saw him. A being appeared before Daniel, radiant, powerful, overwhelming. His body glowed like lightning. His eyes burned like fire. His voice, like the sound of many waters. Daniel fell to the ground, weak, shaking, unable to stand. Because when heaven appears, human strength disappears. The angel spoke. Daniel, you are greatly loved. Then he said something that would reveal one of the greatest spiritual truths ever recorded. From the first day you began to pray, your words were heard. Daniel was shocked. First day? Then why? Did it take 21 days? The angel continued. But the prince of Persia resisted me for 21 days. Now the mystery unfolds. This was not a human prince, not a king, not a man. This was a spiritual ruler, a dark authority, operating over the kingdom of Persia. When Daniel prayed, his prayer rose instantly. God responded immediately. An answer was sent. But between heaven and earth, there was resistance. As the angel carried the answer, he was intercepted. A dark force emerged, massive, terrifying, commanding legions of darkness, the prince of Persia. They clashed. Light against darkness, truth against deception. The angel fought, but the resistance was strong. The battle stretched, day after day. No breakthrough. Until heaven sent reinforcement. Another presence appeared, stronger, warfare-focused, a commander. His name, Michael. A chief angel, a warrior of heaven. Together, they fought, pushing back darkness, breaking resistance, until finally, the path was cleared, and the angel reached Daniel. The angel looked at Daniel and revealed, "I have come because of your words." This means Daniel's persistence sustained the battle. His continued prayer kept the answer moving. If he had stopped, the outcome may have been different. There are times in your life when you pray and nothing changes. You believe, but nothing moves. You wait, but nothing happens. And you think, God is silent. But the truth is, there may be a battle, an unseen resistance, fighting to delay what has already been released. Because every prayer matters, every word counts, every moment of faith pushes something in the unseen. You are not wasting time. You are participating in a war. The angel touched Daniel. Strength returned. Peace filled him. And then, the message was delivered. Revelations about kingdoms, about the future, about things far beyond his time. Because when breakthrough comes, it comes with clarity. Daniel now understood what most people never will. Prayer is not just communication, it is confrontation, that answers are not just given. They are sometimes fought for. And behind every delay, there may be a battle. A prayer is being answered, a battle is being fought, and a breakthrough is on its way. Please subscribe to this channel because there is more truth you need to discover. Like this video so more people can see what is happening in the unseen realm. Share this with someone, and right now, I want you to do something powerful. Drop a comment and write, "I believe the angels are fighting my battle." Write it with faith. And God bless you.